Is live content Radio TV online. Second watch will be a bar with the word. Anything's recording on a mobile phone, make sure it's switched to flight mode, please. And can we keep flash traffic down to we'll get underway with head coach Joe Schmidt announcing the game.
The team play France this Saturday. The front row is Jack McGrath, Rory Best, captain, and Ty Furlong. In the middle row is Donnacha Ryan and Dev Toner, and in the back row are CJ Stander, Sean O'Brien and Jamie Heaslip. The halves are Connor Murray and Jonathan Sexton. In the midfield is Robbie Henshaw and Gary Ringrose, with Simon Zebo and Keith Earls on the wings and Rob Carney at fullback. On the bench is Niall Scannell, Cian Healy and John Ryan, and then Ian Henderson and Peter O'Mahony. And in the backs, it is Kieran Marmion, Paddy Jackson and Andrew Trimble.
Joe, just how close a call was it again between Sexton and Jackson?
It was a call like any other. We debated it, and we do believe that we get a good balance with having both players available. It's very hard to come into a side and come off the bench when you haven't played, and I think it allowed Johnny a little bit more training time with the team this week, as opposed to Paddy, who's already reasonably comfortable. So it's a balance, and I think on Saturday, I'd say based on how things have gone in the past, we'll probably see both players in some positions at some stage of the game.
Any concerns about Sexton since he hasn't played obviously in a while?
No, not really. He's done a lot of conditioning during that period, and fitness is never really an issue for Johnny. It's just making sure that he's fully fit, and he certainly is. He trained well today, trained well on Tuesday, and as was expected, he's highly motivated to get into the game on Saturday.
Yeah, is he pretty pumped, Joe, for this, seeing as he missed the opening Tuesday?
Yeah, I think he was frustrated missing those first two, and he's excited by the opportunity, and he takes a fair bit of responsibility as well. He's obviously a leader within the team. His experience contributes some of that leadership, and I think that's something that Paddy is starting to develop as well. So, it is great to have two guys coming through, because inevitably you're going to need different guys at different times.
Joe, how did Paddy take the news that he wasn't starting?
Yeah, Paddy took it with a smile and said, I'll be ready when you need me off the bench.
How strong is this, are the replacements on Saturday?
Yeah, we're really hopeful that they are primed to contribute, because I think the French replacements are really strong as well. I think the last 30 minutes of the match is going to be very, very highly contested, as will the beginning of the match. But with the likes for us of the experience of guys like Pete O'Mahony, Paddy has accumulated some experience now. The experience of Cian Healy coming off the bench as well. And the enthusiasm, I thought Niall Scannell was super. His first two involvements were two really effective clean-outs against Italy, and he grew into the game from there. So, across the board, we've got a mix of probably younger and less experienced guys with huge enthusiasm, and a mix of guys with a bit more experience and the same level of enthusiasm. To be honest, Andrew Trimble's excited to be back and fit and ready to contribute off the bench as well.
What's it like to have such a strong available 23 there for you?
Yeah, it's great. We'd have liked a little bit more rhythm at this stage of the tournament. We have had quite a few guys going in and out. So we're probably not as cohesive as we would have liked to have been. I know in the first Six Nations I was involved in, I think we used 17 different starters across the full tournament, and it gave us a real continuity through the tournament. We've already kind of mixed and matched a lot already, and there's probably still a bit of mixing and matching to come. So, it's never a perfect world, and it's a challenge, and I think the players, they get excited by the challenge.
What's the thinking behind the rotation between Jack and Cian again?
We thought Jack came on and did really well in just that back end of the game. I guess it's a little bit horses for courses. It's a little bit keeping them both competitive and sharing the time. As I said last time, when Ken started against Italy, Ken will probably play 50 and Jack will play 30, and it's a luxury for us to have two guys who you can mix and match like that. And they even probably look over their shoulder and see Dave Kilcoyne doing well and Dennis Buckley doing well, and probably believe that they need to keep those performances up. So it's a little bit of a luxury for us, to be honest, and we want them both to make the most of their luxury, because in sharing the time, we hope that they bring either freshness off the bench or they bring a real energy to their first 50 minutes, knowing that probably there will be some changes post that.
And how big a factor will home advantage be this weekend?
Well, all I can say is it's great to be home. It's the first two on the road. We're really looking forward to getting back to the Aviva. I think supporters are looking forward to it as well. I know that there's been a lot of people around looking for tickets, and it's going to be quite a raucous environment. I think we've trained this week with signals instead of calls for some things, just because we do believe it's going to be the volume is going to be such that you're not going to be able to hear, and therefore it's exactly what we want. That sort of support certainly lifts the team, and the team want to provide the right energy and entertainment for that crowd that will certainly be in there.
Joe, France could just as easily be coming into this one with 2 wins from 2. Are they more dangerous than in years gone by?
I think they're really dangerous. I think anyone who watched that England-France game would say that that was very much in the balance. And when they were 16-12 up, you really felt that they just let it slip a fraction. And that they'll be, if they get in a similar position against us, I know that they will be incredibly keen not to let that happen. They got into they were probably a little bit unlucky when Tim Swinson scored against them, but they kept their nerve. They built their way back into the game and took the game against Scotland. And I certainly think they certainly appear to have the right mix and the right players. And I know, talking to Guy last year, that they were putting foundations in that to me sounded quite promising, and hopefully they don't come to fruition on Saturday.
Joe, Richie Murphy was saying during the week that obviously with the large competition for places, especially at out half, that he'd like to see Joey Carberry playing a little bit more at 10 for Leinster. Is it a little bit counterproductive that he's starting at 15 this week for them?
Look, during this period, they've got to do what's best for them. The Dragons away are always a bit of a complicated fixture, and for us, last time we used Joey, he was at fullback as well, so we can't really blame Leinster for using him there. And it's about getting your best players on the pitch, I suppose. So for us, I don't have any influence, and I don't try to influence the provincial selections. We try to get players back to them so that they can play, and you'll see a number of our squad members either already training with their provinces and going back to their provinces after Tuesday's training. We had 4 outstanding young men who filled in today to train against us, and I think it's really exciting for them, and they're always energised by it. So, I think for us, it's great that Joey is back playing, and that he's playing anywhere is better than not playing at all.
Joe, Ian has spoken about that he wants to come back to play in Ireland again. Do you hope that happens, that there's space found for him someplace in the provinces?
Look, I've had a number of discussions with Ian. I've known him for a long time. I've coached him for a long time, and respect him as a player and a competitor and a person. He adds quality to an environment. So, I do think that he's currently contracted to Bordeaux, and when you're contracted, you've sold your rugby skills to a particular place for a given time, and I know that he'll honour that as long as they hold him to it. So until something happens, we won't push any boundaries, and that'll really be led by Ian himself.
Johnny's had plenty of experience of coming back from injury from matches against France, and obviously he's well documented everything that goes with that. You're confident he's ready for the physicality?
Yeah, look, we know it's going to be physical, and it doesn't matter who you play; it's going to be physical. 2 years ago, Johnny came back in against the French, and I thought played really well. It got some fairly physical impacts on that day, and he hadn't played for 12 weeks, and I thought was super. So, again, that's part of what you base your decision making on. What have people done in the past? Can they replicate that in the future? Well, if they've done it in the past, they're more likely to replicate it. So, we are confident. I think Johnny is confident as well, and I think that's important.
Okay, guys, we're going to shut down the live section, and we're going to move to the embargo button. If radio and online, we're going to the library. There'll be a player interview there. TV, Twitter, everywhere. And in due course, there will be